Hello and welcome back. I have been planning this video for such a long time, and you'll see what it is from the title, but I've been planning it for such a long time that there's something on here that I have now already done. So as you'll be able to see, today I'm going to be telling you all about my travel wish list. These are places that I am desperate to visit and haven't been yet because I'm removing Mexico because I have now been there. I've done a couple of videos about the things that I've done in Mexico, so I will leave those linked at the end of this video. I'm also very excited because there are 2 places on this list that I am now officially booked to go, and I'm going to be explaining a little bit more about that later on. So if you want to see which 2 of these places I've now booked to visit, you'll have to click subscribe so that you see the video when it comes out. But for now, I'm going to start by telling you that I would really love to visit Alaska. Apparently the glaciers there are beautiful, and I like the idea of doing Alaska by cruise because then you can see not only a lot of the kind of iceness around the water, but also you can visit quite a few places around there. Obviously Alaska is like the other side of, well, it's Canada really, isn't it, from the UK, so it would be presumably a flight to get to Alaska, and then, as I say, ideally on a cruise, probably for a week, and then, I don't know, I guess maybe you do Canada or America after that. On a similar sort of note, I am desperate to go to Hawaii. My 30th birthday is coming up next year, and I had originally thought I would love to go to Hawaii to celebrate my 30th birthday, and that is still something that I'm thinking about, but there's something else on this list that I'm thinking might just pip it. The number one thing is that Hawaii is beautiful and also warm. As much as I just mentioned Alaska, I am definitely like a hot holidays person. I'm cold-blooded, so heat is just amazing for me. I confess that I am a viewer of the Tim tracker, so any Disney fans out there, you will probably know who Tim is, and they have been to Aulani, which is Disney's resort in Hawaii, a few times, and I've seen I think all of the vlog series that they've done from when they visited there, and it just looks amazing. And that's not to say necessarily that I would want to stay at Aulani, although obviously that would be amazing, but just Hawaii in general I think looks like it has so much to offer and is so beautiful, so I would love to visit. Next up, I would love to go to the Caribbean, and I think this is another typical destination that would be brilliant to do by cruise because you could visit a number of the islands kind of all in one trip. My partner and I have previously discussed doing a 2-week cruise around the Caribbean, but neither of us have ever done a cruise before, so we think it's probably better to start at a week just to see if we like it or not, because obviously if you get onto a ship and you're trapped on it for 2 weeks and you hate it, then that's not ideal. We did look at going to the Dominican Republic last year, which you might have seen if you saw my extended trip announcement video where we ended up booking Mexico, and we did also look at Jamaica as well, but that just ended up being a little bit more expensive than the Dominican Republic. I couldn't really tell you specifically which islands I would like to visit because I feel like it's pretty much all of them. Antigua's one that I've heard really good things about, Barbados seems to have a lot there, obviously Jamaica, and then you've got the smaller ones as well, so it's not necessarily that I'd want to visit one island in particular, but I would kind of like to see all of them and see how different they are, I guess. Also, I often think back to when I had to deal with someone in Jamaica as part of my job, and I remember the guy saying to me, "Oh Sophie, if you ever come to Jamaica, like I'll show you around," and obviously that's not gonna happen, but it always just makes me smile thinking of that and how hospitable the Caribbean people seem to be. Moving away from that part of the world now, I would love to go to Kenya. I've heard really good things about Kenya, and it seems to be that you have the mix of like safari and beach. And I have never done a safari holiday, but yeah, I would love to do a safari holiday, but I wouldn't want to do it for too long, if that makes sense. Anywhere that you went to do it would be quite far away from the UK, so you'd probably have to do 2 weeks. So I quite like the idea of doing like 5 nights safari and then like 9 days kind of beachy. If you know anywhere else where safari beach is like a thing, then please let me know. I think there are a few in kind of southern Africa where you can do stuff like that, but let me know if you've done any or if you've heard about any that are great. Coming a bit closer to home, the next one is the Greek Isles, and again there are so many little islands around Greece that I think a cruise would be amazing to do this. There are specific cruises that just go around islands around Greece, so potentially that's something I could have a look at, but I don't think I've ever actually been to Greece. I went to Cyprus in 2022. Obviously that's not Greece, but they speak Greek, so I suppose it's... Do they speak Greek? Do they speak Greek? I think it looked Greek. The signs definitely looked Greek, and I think I learned how to say thank you in Greek. I've never actually done Greece or any Greek islands as far as I know, unless we went anywhere when I was a child. So I would love to go, and I think Santorini in particular is known for being beautiful. I remember I was a big fan of the Sisterhood of the Travelling Pants as a teenager, and I mean, they're still great films. And obviously, is it Lena goes to Santorini, and it's so beautiful. So yeah, I just think it would be amazing to go and visit some of the Greek Isles. And then heading a little bit further west, I would love to go to Italy. I've never been to Italy. And there are so many great places there, like, you know, Rome, Pisa, Florence. I just feel like Italy is another place that would be so beautiful, and you know, as a big fan of pizza and pasta, I'm definitely there for the food. I haven't actually been to that many countries in Europe. I've done France, I've done Spain, Portugal, and I think that's about it, to be honest. So I'm severely lacking, considering that I live in Europe, but Italy is definitely somewhere that I would love to experience. Obviously that's not necessarily so much of a cruise kind of trip, because there's only part of the coast, I guess. A lot of it is kind of inland. But again, doing like, you know, a couple of days here and there in all the different places would be amazing. And Venice, how could I forget about Venice? And finally, this is the biggie. I would love to go to the South Pacific Islands. I watched a program on Channel 5 recently, which was Cruising with Susan Calman, and there was a 2-episode overview of her trip to the Pacific Islands. And oh my god, it literally is like paradise. It's so gorgeous. And I just think, again, you know, the heat and the beauty and having a kind of water-based trip would be so amazing. And again, because there's so many different islands, I think a cruise would be great for this. I did actually come across a cruise which is run by Norwegian Cruise Line, which starts from Hawaii and ends in the Pacific Islands, and I was like, that is a bit of me. Oh my god, that would be amazing. And so I was actually looking at that for my 30th birthday next year, but they've only got the itineraries for this year, and that's just, I'm not going to be able to do it this year. So Norwegian, if you're watching, please do that itinerary next year, because I will be on that ship and you will not get me off. So I think what we can take from this video is that I like heat, I like beauty, I like food. So if you also like hot, beautiful countries with nice food, then you're in the right place. Like I said, I have actually got some travel booked for this year now, finally, which includes 2 of these places. So leave me a comment and let me know which 2 you think they are, or which 2 you want to see the most. I am going to do a separate video talking a little bit about that trip, or those trips, I should say. So if you want to see those when they come out, then make sure you hit subscribe so that you are notified when it comes out. So obviously I've mentioned those places on my wish list, but on my channel I have also got videos about my trip to Thailand, which was about 18 months ago now. That was Khao Lak and Phuket, which was amazing. I've also got vlogs of my trip to Orlando, Florida with my sister. We did Walt Disney World and Universal. I did a video reviewing my trip to Gran Canaria. And so again, if you're into travel content and you're not already subscribed, then definitely hit subscribe, because you are in the right place. But for now, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!